Hello everybody, this is Stevie and Heartbound, and today we're going to check out Lord Nagafen's Lair. This will be the third of the three original bosses that raid bosses that EverQuest launched with. So last time we were in a permafrost keep, or cave as I like to say. Okay, let's test my widget. So while the old Lady Vox was with the barbarians, which are pretty much the most difficult to get friendly with good faction in the game, Lord Nagafen is next to the Dark Elves, which are the kind of premier evil faction of the game. Unlike the barbarians, though, it's a lot easier to get a good faction with the Dark Elves. It's the ogres and trolls that are difficult. Where we were was the newbie log. No one said, okay, here's where the newbie log is going to be. You know, we just the Dark Elves that originally played. There we go. There's my chat. Okay. I like how it all popped up at the same time. But you come out of Neriak, you follow the road, and then you just see this log. So first things, people just said, okay, you know, we let out a Neriak. This is the first thing we see. This log will be the newbie log. And for the next 10 years or so, or when Planet of Knowledge come out, for a long time, maybe 5 years, but it's a newbie log. This was kind of like landmark because they didn't have maps back then. But if you went the wrong way and you didn't go to the newbie log, you went to Lava Storm, because the road, and that's why I'm telling you this, because the road branched. You know, you'd either go to newbie log or take a right and go to Lava Storm. And the enemies of funny story, if you're a dark elf, you know, most of them worship short quest. Most of them worship Interrook, which is the Prince of Hate. If you're a dark elf and you start as Interrook, especially as a cleric or something, you're not immediately hostile to a lot of the people that they have for you to hunt as a newbie. Like my dark elf cleric that worships Interrook can go into the halfling city, but if you did what the game wanted you to as a newbie, I'm gonna find them. There's halflings here and priest of Rodket, which you'd just be expected to go into the hills and just hunt them. The orcs are kind of what you would want to kill because they give you a good faction with the good cities. There they are. The Leatherfoot Scouts. If you kill these, you get quest items for your Interrook quest. But if you leave them alone, you can still use the Halfling City. That's kind of not nearly as big of a deal nowadays, but you know, because when you're a newbie dark elf, you're like, I want to be an evil. I'm playing an evil class, so I'm playing, you know, a dark elf, so it doesn't matter. There's just little things like that. You know, you make the choice to be evil. If you're just gonna be neutral, you know, halflings, the priest halflings won't like you. They never will, but that's kind of your own thing. Okay, so enough dawdling. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of background. You know, they have dark elf guards. This is what they look like. They're part of the Indigo Brotherhood. If you hunt in a Crushbone as a good elf, you will never be friends with them. I'm only indifferent because I'm invisible to them. They just see a random tiger and a draken walking around behind me. Don't mind the invisible person. So this is Lava Storm Mountains. They revamped it at one point. It used to be a little less dramatic, but it's still kind of the same thing. That's a new model. Looks pretty cool. Back in yonder day, yeah, they changed it around. There used to be, you go into Solus XI from the thing where Laura is right now, and Brad McQuaid had his a human paladin standing here. It was a big show-off screenshot for the game. So I have a lot of memories. I can't really show you because I revamped the zone. You have to take my word for it. When they were first introducing the game, like, yeah, we got Lord Nagafen, the big fire dragon. Brad had his paladin, and he was I think his name was Aradune, if I remember correctly. And he was standing above the lava where Solus XI used to be. And Nagafen's Lair has a lot of entrances to kind of just give you an idea of what we're doing. You know, from Solus XI, you know, there's Lava Storm. But you can get in a whole bunch of ways from Solus XI. There's a whole thing to it. These are all new models. That's old. This is let's go back to the current zone. Temple of Solus Row is the neutral fire god. He used to be a source of that temple used to be a source of quest gear. And if you he's level 8, he's meant for dark elves to defeat. Because there are humans out and about. Those fire elementals and fire sprites. Not really sure why they revamped the zone, but it looks good, but to each their own. There's a lot of textures in this game. Pretty cool, huh? Show you the temple first. This little hole in the wall. You wouldn't expect it, but it goes to the Fire God's temple. It's an entirely neutral zone. There's an Afridi, which if you hail, you'll lower your faction, which you can fight Shadowmen to get back up. It's not really that big of a deal, but it just feels really bad when it happens. Because most of the time you're figuring out what quests are is you either hail the NPC, you attack the NPC and see if it has a quest item, or you look it up online. So when you're kind of feeling around and you have your faction drop just from saying hi, it was like, okay, great. You just had to fight a few Shadowmen. It was easy to fix. Yeah. It was a very pretty zone. It was a lot prettier than it used to be. It used to just be like a black mountain. I think they revamped it for this thing. They wanted to use it for some new quests. Lava in this game isn't instant death, it's just hot. Let's see, there's Wayfarers. There's a general neutral camp. Yeah, they probably had an expansion about this. I'm not familiar with the expansion because it was after my time. These are new model goblins. There used to be red goblins that look like the goblins we fought before. They were just red. These are the newer models. But we're here. Another agent of change. They like changing things. You can go to Nagafen's Lair. It used to be you had to go through Solus B. As a tall race, usually had to shrink in there. Let's go see that lair. I'll know instantly if they changed it or not. This looks like the old stuff. Look how we went from that big wide tunnel to the old way. Yeah, so this is what I'm used to. So you know, you'd be fighting level 33 kobolds. Because where Lady Vox had the goblins, Lord Nagafen has the kobolds. Let's see. Let's see how resistant my character is to a lava. Did I get hit? Okay, 10 damage. Yeah, it's not that bad. Lecthan, you're burning. Nope, he saw through my stuff. We're gonna go ahead and activate my mercenary so he'll heal himself. So I'm just gonna go aggro everything in here for some reason. Okay. So the sonic bats aren't gonna play nice with my invisibility. Says my ward is clawing, so I'm going to assume he's somewhere. My pet's on this bat. Some games, lava is instant death. This game is just a normal thing. I'll try to invisible where I can so I can kind of show you kind of the game. But at the same time, it's not always going to. It does also follow the rule of water, so if a monster is half submerged, your spells just don't land sometimes. Unless you're in the water with them. Nice experience. Let's keep the ball rolling. I'm probably going to use shrink. One of the big disadvantages of playing a taller race is that in the old world it used to be hard to squeeze through things. You get stuck a lot. And it sounds funny until it actually happens. Gotta get in the water to hit you. Yep. It's just water. That's lava for you. Now I can hit it. Being hit for 10 damage. Oh no. Hacking on skylighters. Oh, I think it's because they're having a New Year event. Yeah, that's not normal loot. I mean, these are pretty steady as far as gold and stuff goes. So you could hunt here. Okay. I think he's running. Yeah, he's running. He is done with our nonsense. And of course, that leads to more sonic bats. And that's just kind of how you accidentally level in this game. It's one fight after another. These don't have a whole lot of hit points, so in theory you could take a whole bunch of them. My pet doesn't have his haste. And I guess it needs to go without saying that monsters in here are going to be fire resistant. So I need to keep that in mind when I give him a spirit. I know I was forgetting something. Can you turn around and smack me? Yes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna see the see if we can find the Afridi Lord. For some reason this bat isn't running, so okay. And we got a lot of platinum for it, just considering we just fought a few bats. It's kinda nice. Come on, Key Cat, get out of the floor. Yeah, I gotta get to a position where they're not being stupid. Because if I try to cast a spell on him and he's on the floor, I won't cast properly. Oops. Let's not get turned around. Alright. I think I have to go under. Yep. Gotta go under. Just take a nice relaxing swim. Hold on. Oh, this is the way out after you get trapped. Okay. Okay, I get it now. So if you fall through that fake floor, you end up having to go through this fire tunnel. Again, lava has never been the real danger here. But that explains why the sonic bats can see invis. Can you let me go places? Thank you. So we're gonna just take the lava path. Can you see me? No. So these protectors aren't very good at protecting. But they're probably really good experience points. So naturally there's a fake floor here. So you'd be like, okay, we're going to go fight some imp protectors. But you can't do that. You gotta go around. And that is how you do that. Why does this game have so many traps? Really? I'm not sure. Let's go further in. Nope. Okay, so what happened here is this is where the Eternal Lord spawns. He has a placeholder up. So we're going to attack the placeholder. Now while they're doing that, well, I gotta wait. Well, eventually I'll be able to get my pet's haste up. I'll be able to do that, you know. Go get a safe spot. I'll be alright. I'm pretty sure these guys will run. With the older expansions, monsters have less hit points. It was expected you wouldn't have this high of stats when you came down here. And you wouldn't have a mercenary constantly keeping you up. So, alright, this model is supposed to be really intimidating. You normally see this kind of thing in the plane of sphere, you know, anywhere where there's fire. These aren't too bad. So I think you could say they protected the boss because he was up instead of the Efreeti Lord. But yeah, even though it's Lord Nagafen's lair, you'd still just hunt here like you would any other normal adventure group. I like how they're all attacking me, by the way. What have I done? That was so bad. Didn't even clean up the last adventurer that came through here. He's just a figment of his human self. Another platinum, that's not bad. Do another round of malaria. Pretty sure these guys, one of these are gonna run, so getting them both low on health is probably in my better interest. I've just got that feeling deep inside of me. Go to the there's more hit points. That ice spike was very effective. I wonder why. Ice versus fire. But yeah, I'm getting 1 experience point for each one of these, and they're not too hard to beat. This would be unironically a very cool space to hunt at this level. Very overlooked. Your first instinct is going to be like, why do I want to go to a dragon's lair to fight and hunt for experience? Oh, this is why. It's just not that bad. They do take a minute to take out, though. Now, the real question is this guy gonna run? Yep. He's absolutely gonna run. And with a nice spike, is that gonna be enough? Sure be cool if I had a stun. It didn't matter. I got away with it. And now I can take this boss room and rebuff. Which is pretty useful to me. We're not going to stay, like I might do another swing by to see if the Efreeti Lord respawned, but because the Efreeti Lord model is pretty cool. But it's not really a big priority. You just know that an Efreeti Lord spawns here. And you just have to watch out for the fake floor. Buff up our little buddy. So I'll use Sec B. It's just pretty much a bunch of kobolds. And it's just the army of Lord Nagafen. So I use Spirit of Flame, so I kind of have to be aware that might not be the best choice in a fire dungeon. Let's see. Pets. Let's just Spirit of Snow. That should make him more effective. Again, the pet is a very big part of the Beast Lord kit. So it's very important my pet is doing what he needs to be doing. Yeah, that should work for a bit. I like how fast my mana is going up. Almost gained 10% mana just by sitting down for a minute. we'll redo our haste or running speed. Give my pet eel chloroblast. But it's also especially useful because the lava is doing about 10 damage a second. I knew it wasn't going to be bad, but I had to be sure. Guys, you just never know. Look at that kitty cat. Look how cool he is. Talking about this one, by the way. Well, you know, the tiger on screen works too. Or you could also say the main character. This is just a very catty party. I have become better at manitate. I don't sit down a whole lot. It used to be you'd sit down, get full health and mana, sit down, fight a boss, you know, over and over and over again. I've been adapting over the years, I guess. Feels good. For a few more seconds, and then I'll continue the party. So we know this is where the Afridi Lord spawns. It doesn't really matter which way we go back. See if we can get to King Tyrannix. I think he's a kobold. Used to be you'd have to memorize this path, I guess you call it. So this is just leveling areas. Solus XI is just leveling, or it's also known as Sol B. It's just kobolds, just level. There's just nothing really there. And this would be the actual raid dungeon. You know, then you go down to Lord Nagafen. The Caverns of Exile. This is new. That's not what we're here to see. I'm not familiar with it, therefore it is new content, which is not what this old geezer knows about. Where is my character? Okay. I'm gonna fall through the trap just because. So if I was to fall through the, you know, just walk normally, my character will start to sink into the lava. I was like, oh no, this is a bad floor. You just end up going through here. Down the tunnel. It's an easy way to panic. But the lava doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, it's not an ideal situation, of course. Yeah, it's hard to navigate. We go this way. Can I climb the lava waterfall? No. Yeah. So that's a dead end. So we're gonna have to just go through the normal way. And it's literally just kobolds, like all the way around. We have a kobold noble up. Nope. It's just a leveling area. So there's a trap crushing block. I don't think that thing kills you, but I also don't want to try it out. Pretty sure that's just for fun. I have never heard of anybody getting killed by a crushing block. I hunted here before. This rare spawn never spawns. I've never seen the Kobold King, and I used to hunt here when I was a newbie. Well, not really a newbie, but you know, groups would go to Soul B, Nagafen's Lair. These priests and this king, they never spawn ever. I saw the Kobold champion like once. Yeah, they're never up. That's not even worth trying to show you. They just look like normal kobolds, and they are never there. But it was like having friends. We had an ogre tank, and we had to shrink him. It's a window room. Because it has a window. Isn't that cool? Here's the full room. I forget why this is named the full room, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. Yeah, it's just literally kobolds. This is where you'd level at. Like when you're getting to level 50, like level 45 or so. This is where you'd be. These little tunnels here. Now, if you were a good race, you didn't have near react to go and sell at unless you were okay with the 4 1/4. Which my paladin was okay with the 4 1/4, but for some reason this Vashir isn't. But Nereac's a really good town. It has hidden walls and stuff, and getting into the interior is a little harder than it needs to be. But okay. Like if you jumped off, you'd be going back into the you saw how he had the kind of empty space where you could jump off. And just take you to Sol B. There's no reason to ever jump. Unless you're just really, really dorky. You don't mind getting lost. Yeah, let's crush me. I don't care. Do it, nerd. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But that crushing block is the only way to get deeper into the dungeon. So if you just kind of ignore all the visual noise, this is the only path that takes you down. This goes nowhere, so we'll show you that first. I think you can see me, can't you? Yeah. So we'll get into another fight. We'll see if I want any of it. Yeah, this just goes down. Okay. So we're getting into fight with more bats. Well, they drop good platinum, so that's not really that big of a deal. We're just melting that guy's hit points. He never stood a chance. Now I have haste and Spirit of Snow. His bat is should have picked his battles better. Yeah, he was not prepared for what was about to hit him. We'll cast malaria on this guy too. It used to be back in my day, you had to manually look for who was attacking you. Back in my day. But now we're heading to the part of the raid dungeon that's actually the raid dungeon. Everything you've seen up now to this point is just kind of the leveling area. The entire purpose of this area is just kind of to relax and just level up. Why are there so many bats here? They're driving me batty. Got one more bat. So we pulled the entire dungeon for some reason. I mean, I think even with our mercenary active so much, I think we're still making good money. So I think we'll be okay. There we go. You know, my bat wings are good for levitation. That's kind of handy. I don't see invisible my character. There we go. Oh yeah, there's another bat. That was a waste of time. That's okay. Little experience points never hurt anybody. But yeah, look how fast these go down. This could be a pretty solid hunting area if you were so inclined. And of course, because it's a raid dungeon, the old theory was if everyone used invisibility and just kind of ran past everything, that would upset the game designers. So that's why you have monsters here that see invisibility. Pretty much anywhere they don't want you to just kind of like walk past, you have them, but at the same time, sometimes you just want to walk past. See, that bat is just there solely to annoy you. Well, that's fine. They're easy. Good experience points. Not a huge deal. And here you'd have a noxious spider that would spawn sometimes. And we're going to see if we can find the death beetle, which is a fire beetle, but it has death in its name. So that's very exciting. Like the fire beetle's big scary cousin. Doing some accidental grinding here. But yeah, if you ever want to grind it and you're in the level range, the old world is a lot better. Otherwise, just have really low hit points. You get the same experience points and usually better loot. Because you figure back in the day, this was in-game. That's a spider, isn't it? Yep. The olden spider. This looks exactly the same as level 5 monster in Nyctalos Forest. I should be behind him, so I'll get period and stuff. He hit me with something. Boils the blood of your target. Causes 44 damage every 6 seconds for almost 2 minutes. I got bit. I'm not long for this world. Oh no. Horse is gonna run away. We'll save our burst damage. Kind of slow them down. When they get led to there's no point being invisible, because if I'm invisible and I have a dot on me, it's going to knock me out of invisibility. So we'll sit for a second, get some of that mana back. That's all you really can do. Yeah, if you take damage from an area of effect or just a damage over time or something like that, your invisibility will break. So, the more you know. Okay. Now I can invis. See if I can see the death beetle. I don't want to go deep in yet. I'll get there. Yeah, this well, go on around, see if we can find the death beetle. Yep. They look exactly like this. It's just a death beetle. It's like the super powered grandpa of the actual beetle. So if you wanted to hunt here, that's probably pretty good until the death beetle spawns. And woe to you and yours. Nah, you're right. Just check it out like anything else. It's like a lava beetle. The death. That's a noise, isn't it? So I think we have to go to the spiders next. Ooh, spiders. Someone actually drew a spider on a wall. To remind you that there are spiders here. And that's a stone spider. He looks exactly like every other creature. He's rare, he's special. And there he is. Okay, now I gotta think for a second. Because these paths, what happens is you fall into the lava in Lord Nagafen's lair. You have to swim all the way back out, because I know that that's just the way it is. So then you'll be swimming all the way here if you fall off during Lord Nagafen's fight. So this is the actual path. I gotta remember how to get to what I'm doing. Stop that. Give me a second. Thinking time. I think it's up. Right? Yeah, I think it's up. Thinking time. You gotta forgive me. You have to remember, it's been like decades since I've been through here last. Yep. So past this point, this is considered the raid part of the dungeon. We are no longer in the hunting zone. Now, how Lord Nagafen squeezed his big giant red butt in here, that's beyond me. But that's just how it is. Because you have to remember, everywhere, you know, a dragon has to be able to squeeze through all this. There it is, the big gate. Knock knock. Of course I left it unlocked because of video games. A little fire table, which actually looks kind of cool. See, they sell all sorts of merchandise. Why didn't this ever catch on? Wouldn't that be cool? Having like a fire table. This is kind of what the Ifritis look like. With most of the giants, most of them have a Middle Eastern type to them. Like you have the sand giants, they'll be wearing Saudi, you know, stuff. You have the ice giants you've seen. Kind of have I don't know what you just kind of a Middle Eastern look to them. And these guys are no different. The fire giants they look like that too. We'll see some in a second. So here's where King Tranix would be. He's obviously a rare spawn. Stop. The game keeps making my character appear. I just perfected invisibility. But that's not something I get. And here would be Warlord. They're not up right now, which is kind of a mixed bag. They don't get to show them off, but that's okay. So now we'll go downstairs like this. And there you go. Crossing the bridge. If you wanted to bring it back down, you get to switch that lever. Bring the lever up. very empty. I'm getting concerned. If somebody was here, you'd see bodies. Yeah, Lord Nagafen isn't up. That's kind of the risk you take when you do these things. So he was probably defeated yesterday. On one hand, I had to risk my character's life. The other hand, I kind of wanted to show Lord Nagafen. He's not very, how do I explain? People used to swing level 52 characters just to knock them out every Tuesday. So being able to see one of them up is kind of a rare treat. On the other hand, they did take away the ability for people above level 52 to get instantly warped out. So you have a lot bigger variety of people. Like if I went in here like Bass's door like a few months ago and he was up, I would walk in here and I'd aggro Lord Nagafen and I'd instantly get teleported out of the entire dungeon. So this used to be very hard to see until very recently. It was like on a weekly timer. So waiting around won't do anything. But yeah, this is Nagafen's lair. We're going to the lava just for fun. Yeah, if you fall into the lava, you're going all the way back. You have 0 visibility. And it's just like, oh no. Well, I guess you can get back up here. Okay, so it's not the end of the world. So that makes me wonder, what's the alternate way? Oh, that's why. Yeah. There's this big waterfall. So I guess if you fall here, that's kind of it. Okay, so that's how that works. And you're back at the bridge. If you want to go further down, well, it goes on here. Yeah, basically, they're just the fire giant model, if I remember correctly. Which we saw one of them with Lady Vox a brief time before I panicked and gated out. You sound like a villager from Minecraft. Doesn't he though? I can show you Saw B while the bats. Little bats. Actually, really good experience points. You know, this dungeon is a lot smaller than I used to remember it. This used to feel like really, really big. So I thought I could devote an entire episode to it. Basically, yeah, Lord Nagafen's just a big red fire dragon, and he has some fire giants with him. And these are really good money. But I did say this is Lord Nagafen's stream. Those short streams aren't too bad, right? My poor mercenary. I was always surprised I got to see Finnegal and Lady Vox. I knew one of these was going to be off, but now it's a dungeon. The only things in there you didn't see is a red dragon, which if you go to Alakazam and just type in Lord Nagafen, you'll see plenty of pictures of Lord Nagafen. He's not an unusual looking monster at all. But back in the day, this was one of the very first raids. I was surprised Lady Vox and Finnegal were up. So we got 2 out of 3. That's not too bad. Okay, so as much as I want to do other things, we haven't really been streaming that long. I've kind of shown you what I wanted to show you today. Unless you want to watch me grind for ages and ages. No, if you click on this, you want to see Lord Nagman's lair. That's kind of the point. That leaves me wondering where I want to go next. Zone guide. Max level 55. We're gonna take you guys to entertain next. Let's see. Thinking time. Do lower gak. That'd be fun. Well, actually. Where do I want to go next? Alex Laboratory. Labyrinth would drive me nuts. A lot of choices. Let's see. But I want to talk about stuff I'm familiar with. Why don't I just talk about the entirety of Antonica? Yeah, we'll do that. Just a for fun episode. We did get a few things too. Dun, dun, dun. You use these bat wings for levitation, but I think we'll be okay. I never did find out what the silver wing sticklet goes to. I think Bad Blood's for that's for a quest. You have a troll outside of Neriak. And it gives you a faction if you, or specifically a troll, because the frog likes to grab at one point. I think that's what that's for. But you have to be a troll to do that quest. Okay. So a very short episode, but yeah, that was on Nagafen's Lair. I remember it being much bigger, but it is what it is. So we'll keep things kind of separated, you know, where I need them to be. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good day. This is a shorter one, but it had to be. I ran out of content to show you. That's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things. But I've shown you all 3 raid zones. Lord Nagafen can get the short end of the stick. He just has a few fire giants and his tiny little cave. Lady Vox, I got to show you in full. Finnegal, I got to show you in full. But that's it. If you were playing EverQuest back in the early days when the game launched, those were the 3 raid bosses. That was your big goal. Fight the 2 dragons and you fight the fish. And when Kunark came out, I think they came out with epics and everything got a whole lot more complicated. But it was a good time. So I hope you guys have a good day, and maybe someone talk about Antarctica, I guess. If I, yeah. Sounds good to me. Bye bye.